Hello, everyone, and welcome back to All Watch What They're Watching, where we're curious and adamant about cinema. I am one of your hosts, and I'm Kyrie.
And I am Adam.
And, we had the Oscars, and I'm sure we have many, many thoughts.
We did. I hope we didn't get them all out over text. We were texting the whole time and pretty much ever since.
Before we dive into the Oscars, did you have a chance? I know we just barely recorded because we recorded right before the Oscars. Now we're recording right after. Did you have a chance to see any other movies in theaters or anything yet?
I watched a movie last night, but we'll save that for later.
Okay.
It's Project Hail Mary week, so I will be seeing that before we record next.
I have my IMAX tickets for Friday night.
Oh my gosh, you're so lucky. On Thursday, I am going down to Portland with my brother because we're going to catch the first session of some March Madness games that are being played in Portland.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be a lot of fun. And since I'm going to be in Portland, I was looking around, to see if there were any IMAX showings of Project Hail Mary available for when we would be done. The timing just wasn't quite working, so I don't think I'll be able to swing it. There's even I went down to see Friendship with him in one of the really cool theaters down in Portland, the Hollywood Theater, and they show...
Oh, that's right. You said that.
Yeah, so they're showing it in 70 millimeter IMAX at that movie theater. And so the 6 o'clock was sold out, but there were tickets left at the 9:30 p.m. But at that point, there's no way I could make all of that work.
Yeah.
But maybe in another life.
I was looking because there's two theaters that are really close to me, and then another one that's also pretty darn close. And I was looking at Thursday and Friday at both the ones that are really close to me, the ones I frequent, and they had like a couple of seats that were like okay, but not great. And then I looked at the one that was a little bit farther away, and someone must have canceled or someone's not going alone or something, because it was literally like there was one, like the perfect seat was right smack dab in the middle of just all around it, seats bought up. But there was this one, and I was like, that is mine. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Please and thank you. Good.
Yes. We've talked a little bit about this movie because I've read the book, and you've basically know nothing about it. I'm predicting, I think you're going to really like it, is my prediction. I know it's a little bit long, but I
also think I'm going to really like it.
I think it's right up your alley based on everything I know. So I'm excited for you to see it.
Yeah, I know next to nothing about this thing. It is a little long. That's not always a bad thing. I do like some long movies. But I think you're right. Like it looks cerebral enough while still also like kind of an action flick, but more so like a sci-fi, like I said, kind of cerebral. I'm stoked. I'm excited to go in not knowing a ton. I've seen the trailers. I'm not going in completely blind, but yes, I'm very excited, and yes, I am sat. I have my ticket, and I am ready to rock and roll on Project Hail Mary. I also may try to go see that new horror movie Undertone.
Oh, okay.
I might try to see that before we record as well, but we'll see. I haven't decided if that's one I want to see or not.
I can't remember. I think I just sent you another one on Instagram coming out with Adam Scott is the lead. And I think it's like an Irish folk horror or something like that. But that one's starting to get some buzz too, that it may be looking good. So there's stuff coming.
Yeah, well, just with Ghibli and midterms and job stuff for you and the Oscars, we haven't really done like a preview review soon. So we'll definitely be doing that come the end of March, beginning of April, because I know we've been sort of sporadically being like, hey, did you see this? Hey, did you see this? And there hasn't been much of note since that, February, that February weekend, other than pretty much Project Hail Mary that we've all been waiting for. But, April and May will kick off summer blockbuster season. Let's chat about the Oscars.
For sure. I love the Oscars. It's just such a fun event, just so fun. I was telling you a little bit about it, but growing up, Sundays we reserved for family time and watching movies together and things like that, and we wouldn't watch regular TV. But for whatever
Uh,
reason, every year when the Oscars came on, we would all watch that together as a family, even though, like, growing up, a lot of the times we hadn't seen most of the movies that were being talked about, but just such a
uh,
fun experience. So I've always loved the Oscars, and this year was especially special after having watched all 50 nominees for this year's Oscars.
yeah, yeah. Couple of interesting things right off the bat. I did think it was interesting twice in the night when they were talking about, I think, documentary shorts
Mhm.
got an incredibly long cheer. Like right at the very beginning when Conan announced it, he had to start his joke like 3 times because people just kept cheering. And then it happened later when they were getting ready to announce it too, which I just thought was I've never seen that kind of a reaction to documentary shorts before.
Yeah, it was awesome. I shared that joke that my brother shared with me about the documentary shorts, and
Yes.
Conan made the same joke about how
Yeah.
devastatingly sad and, yeah, tough watches
Yeah.
they are. That's a good place to start, though. I think when you look at the excitement for the documentaries, and one of the surprises for me, I think, and obviously we're going to get into the big talking points, but this is one that's, I think, a little bit less talked about. I wanted Mr. Nobody against Putin to win the documentary feature,
Yeah.
and it
And I
did.
remember you and I both were like, "Oh, we don't think it will."
And it won, and I was so excited, and the
Thanks.
speeches were
Sorry.
fantastic between the director and the subject of the documentary that were,
Yeah.
I think what made that, and so let me get into a little bit because I didn't comment on any Reddit posts or anything or any discussions I saw in other places. I wanted to kind of talk about it here. A lot of people were really upset that the two more American focused documentaries didn't win. That being The Perfect Neighbor and The Alabama Solution, which is a difficult
Yeah.
thing because I agree that those are both really good documentaries, and I think as my brother and I have been talking about this a little bit too, so he watched them all as well. And I think every single documentary that was nominated and talked about at the Oscars was an S tier level documentary. Like none of them were,
Mm.
like Best Picture, you can kind of categorize into tiers, and it was a two-person race this year, and the kind of things like that
Right.
happen. All of the documentaries were so, so good. And so even I think The Perfect Neighbor people were sitting in front of the Mr. Nobody people, and I could see that they were
Mhm.
visibly like upset about this, which you usually don't see from the other people that
No.
like lose. And a lot of people were like, well, this is just because it's a anti-Russia film. This is just because, there's all this institutional racism in the US. And so I've been thinking a lot about that because I've seen both of those comments about it. And I think, like, first of all, yes, obviously the documentaries that are more US topics focus a lot on institutional racism and some of those complex challenges because those
Mhm.
are real issues that are happening. But
Right.
what I can say about Mr. Nobody and why it worked so well for me, and I feel very validated and backed up by this, by the acceptance speeches, was that I was watching this movie and literally seeing like myself in this person and seeing
Mm.
our country, not Russia, seeing our country doing the things that he's talking about. So
Mhm.
and that's exactly what they said in the acceptance speech about all the things going on in our country that you need to stick up, and that what makes this so powerful is that even a nobody can stick up and stand up for what's right.
Right.
So, yeah, a really surprising one, and I didn't expect so much pushback against it, but that was there, and so I thought that was all very interesting.
Yeah. And K-pop Demon Hunter did walk away with 2 awards, original song and animated. I saw a comment that was really funny that it showed the live performance of Golden and like caption on it was like, I thought it was really, really nice of Huntrix to let the Oscar ceremony occur during their concert.
Perfect.
That made yeah, that just made me laugh. It looking back to it, super fun seeing like Leonardo DiCaprio, Steven Spielberg waving their little lights. And also, MVP of the night, Tiana Taylor.
Oh, for sure.
Time the camera went to her, she was having the best time.
Yeah, so fun. And I you didn't quite see it. I texted you, but right as Golden was finishing and they were playing the music, Michael B. Jordan was like bobbing his head back and forth. It was so funny.
Yes.
Tiana Taylor, though, I don't know if you heard this. I didn't text you about this. I only saw this today. Apparently, she had a run in with a security guard after one battle after another one. They were like walking off stage, and I think she went to like go talk to somebody or something. And so then as the team was going off stage, she tried to get back on stage to go with the rest of the one battle after another team, and a security guard like stopped her. And so the Academy like was released some statement or something about it today. So kind of a crazy.
Another statement that the Academy had to deliver was going back to K-pop Demon Hunters. I think it was Best Original Song. You know, someone else then tried to give some acceptance speech, you know, thank you thing. And that orchestra came in full blast and basically just pushed them off the stage. And that happened a couple times where the orchestra would come in and kind of come back. But this one, it just seemed like they were steamrolling him. And so, yeah, the broadcast networks were basically like, first of all, we're really sorry. Second of all, just moving forward, we need to figure out what we're going to do. Where if there's multiple people who win an award, do we have them nominate a spokesperson beforehand? Do we give each person a certain amount of minutes? You know, what do we do? Because they basically, you know, when it's Paul Thomas Anderson winning, he goes up there, gives his acceptance speech and leaves. But when it is some of these things like Best Picture, the animated film, some, you know, the documentaries, original song, there are some of these things where it's not just one person, it's a team, it's a group. And yeah, with that kind of, what do you do? So it'll be interesting to see what they do in future years, but I will say that I did not feel like that was handled. I didn't think it was handled very well at all.
Yeah, I want to stay here for just a second. I've been thinking about it a lot too. First thing I'll say is that one felt like distinctly mean, I guess. Like, I don't know. It
Yes.
felt mean. Although I felt as a whole, this was better than most years. I don't know why. I just felt like that in general. It's this really frustrating thing. Now, I think the presenters do a bad job, but that the host does a good job, at least with Conan the last 2 years.
I could see that.
I think Conan's bits
great.
are a celebration of movies and the culture of movies today that I think work really well.
Agreed.
And they're very planned, and they keep things engaging for a TV audience and for an award show. I think that a lot of the presenter bits fall pretty flat with like one or two exceptions. Like, Kelly and I were looking at each other like, what in the world? The Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman one was like, wait, this is for Best Picture? What are we doing here? Like, it was just so silly. And it was like this is cute, this is fun, but you're about to announce Best Picture? Like, this is weird. So anyways, I think it's like, it might be solved, honestly, going to YouTube, right? Like, they may not care anymore, and they just may say, talk however long you want, which, you know, I guess that works. That's interesting. So it's just frustrating when there's certain bits that are happening, like, you know, this is ABC Disney, so we're getting a commercial for The Mandalorian and Grogu, and it's like, what if we took that 30 seconds? And, you know, I think they have staggered timing too. Like, I would assume they give the Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Picture, Best Director, probably something more like, I don't know, 3 minutes opposed to 1 minute for others. So it's a tough thing.
But like the bridesmaid bit, I was like, this is going on too damn long. I felt like, and I don't mean any disrespect by this in the slightest, I thought that the In Memoriam bit but the In Memoriam sequence ran a little long, because I feel like when you highlight specific people to it, because I was sitting here being like, we talked a whole lot about Rob Reiner, as we should, but we didn't talk hardly at all about Catherine O'Hara. We didn't talk hardly at all about Robert Duvall. We didn't They did end up talking about Diane Keaton and Robert Redford, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know that it was, and it's hard because you can't spend 5 minutes talking about every single person, because then all of a sudden In Memoriam is an hour long. So you can't do that, but I don't know. I just felt like, I don't know. I didn't love the way it
Yeah,
was
and
handled this time.
I think Rob Reiner was such a shock to and seemed to be
Right.
such a like beloved and well-known person in Hollywood. And then, Robert Redford and his involvement with like Sundance Film Festival, and so all
Of
these things.
course.
But still at the same time, whenever you're singling out one person, like, are you devaluing everyone that you're not singling
Exactly.
out? Which I,
Exactly.
I think many people don't feel that way. But yeah, I don't disagree. I think it is again, it's one of those things, well, like, what is the right solution? Because those were lovely, and especially the Rob Reiner one I thought was a lovely tribute.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know the timing. And also I thought it ended at like 7:40 Pacific time or whatever, or
Right.
maybe even like 7:30. So I'm like, we couldn't have gone 20 extra minutes. Like, I don't understand why we felt like. So again, I don't know why we felt like we had to cut that off, but at the same time, you also do have to choose a certain limit.
Yeah.
Like you can't let
Yeah.
everyone go forever. I thought Adrian Brody was really distasteful in his remarks about it. Him
Yeah.
because it was him going long last year was like it wasn't like a cutesy little thing that he did. First of all, he's already won an Oscar before, and second of all,
Right.
nobody liked that he went long. Nobody. So it's
Yeah.
just like, I don't know what we're doing here. So yeah, I again, it's unfortunate, and I did see that the K-pop group got to talk a little bit backstage, and so that was really nice. And obviously got some
Oh,
amazing recognition, but yeah.
that was another thing the network said, is by moving to YouTube, they're like, maybe what we do is we have one spokesperson like on the stage, and then we do some backstage behind the scenes interviews slash acceptances, because it is on YouTube, so it's a little bit of a different format. So it'll be interesting. But getting down to the nitty gritty, there's only a couple of, I want to say, like, surprises, just because there were I mean, we went into it being like, we don't know what's gonna happen. But I do want to talk probably about Best Actor,
Hmm.
um, and maybe Best Supporting Actress. Just talk about those briefly.
Yes, that's a great place to start. The Timmy train did not arrive
I
at the
know.
station.
It did not. And I keep seeing memes and stuff on Instagram where it's like, the most Marty Supreme thing ever is to be nominated for 9 Oscars and to lose all of them.
Now, allegedly, I don't know if this is true. I just saw this. Allegedly, Warner Brothers had 2 trailers for Dune Part 3 that dropped today. I don't know if you saw the trailer. I saw it. It looks amazing. Can't wait.
Oh, I didn't.
Trailer 1 said Academy Award winner Timothy Chalamet. Trailer 2 did
Snap.
not. Allegedly. I'm not saying that's true, but I saw that as a
Yeah.
rumor. I think the timing of it coming out literally today does make me wonder. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know how familiar you are with Dune, and this is relevant to Timothy Chalamet. The second book, he could be a supporting character, but now based off of the trailer, it doesn't look that way. It looks like it's still kind of his show. So I'm
Yeah.
really interested in what this adaptation is going to do. I think it looks really interesting.
Yeah, it definitely will be interesting. It is funny though, because I heard you kind of say, well, like, maybe Timmy will win for Dune, and I'm seeing things here and they're like, yeah, maybe he will. I also am over here just like, here's Odyssey that's coming out though.
And Tom Cruise with
I
Digger, and yeah, I don't know.
Well,
Has
and
Matt
I mean,
Damon won
Project Hail
before?
Mary. I was literally just wondering that. Let me check. I don't know if he has.
Huh. Yeah,
And
that
so
could
that's
be
the
a
thing
big
too, is
deal.
has Matt Damon won an Oscar? Only for Best Original Screenplay, Good Will Hunting, none of the acting ones.
That's interesting. I think my take with someone like Timothy Chalamet, I'm a huge fan of Timothy Chalamet, the actor. He's just someone that, like Tom Cruise, like Denzel Washington, I just am so sat anytime they are on my screen and I'm watching them. So I
Right.
think what Timothy Chalamet, I hope people are saying around him is you are one of the greats. You're only not even 30. Don't
Right.
force it. Don't worry about it. It's gonna come. Like you're
Right.
gonna have a bazillion nominees and opportunities. So I think it's one of those things where it's like you see somebody, I'm trying to think of an example, like Kei what's his name? Kei Kwan? Hey
Kia Kwan?
Kei Kwan. And I'm not trying to be insensitive. He has one shot to win an Oscar, and it's Everything Everywhere All at Once, right? And he
Right.
wins that
Right.
Oscar, and it's awesome. It's a great story. Timothy Chalamet's not gone. Like he's gonna win an Oscar, you know?
This almost feels like a Leonardo DiCaprio situation where,
Yeah.
Leo got buzz for all these movies. He was in, Titanic, the greatest. Wasn't nominated for anything, but still, it's the highest grossing movie of all time at the time. It's still one of the highest grossing movies ever made. He was getting Oscar buzz for Aviator, for I don't even remember all of them, but like he was nominated three, also like it was like 3 or 4 times until finally The Revenant, they were like, give the man an Oscar. He's gonna die doing this thing. That's kind of how I feel with Timmy. Is it's like, dude, you're gonna get it. You're
I
gonna
can't
get it.
I can't remember if you sent this to me, but I saw something that was like he's going to train for 10 years as a ballet dancer for some sort of like ballet
Right.
biopic, and that's what he's going to win his Oscar on.
And I do think that is one thing that he does have working against him, which is unfortunate, because I think you're right. I think he's a compelling actor. He was really previously I wasn't amazed with him, but Marty Supreme, I was like, oh, this guy's legit. This guy's the
Yeah,
real deal.
I love Marty Supreme.
His campaign strategy was like, oh, I am Marty Supreme.
Right.
And I think he played things off as jokes, and they didn't come off as jokes. They
And
came
not
off like, oh,
everybody knew
you're an arrogant douchebag.
not everybody knew he was playing Marty Supreme, and so I
Right.
can appreciate what he was doing, and I knew what he was doing even before I'd seen the movie, but I think it did not work as a strategy, which is too bad for him.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, thrilled that Michael B. Jordan won the Oscar. I think he totally deserved it. I think he's also just like one of those people that you're just like, dude seems so humble.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
he just, yeah, thrilled to pieces that he got it.
after he won, and lots of interviews, lots of things. Kiri, what did Michael B. Jordan say was his favorite movie?
He said it was Princess Mononoke.
That's
And I
awesome.
am so excited.
Yeah.
I was like, this man is
Everybody,
a legend. He's a hero.
everybody that, yeah, everyone was like, man, this guy is the real
This
deal.
guy is cool.
So I was listening to a podcast on my drive home from work today too, and I'll give you one guess, you won't get it, but what other Oscar nominated writer, director duo? I think they team write, but only one of them directs. Which one also evoked Princess Mononoke in one of this year's Best Picture nominees?
One of this year's? See, I was going to guess the Coen brothers, but this year, I'm even drawing a blank on all of the. Oh, possibly Guillermo del Toro?
No, I wouldn't be surprised though. It was Clint Bentley and Greg Quadar, who are quickly becoming two of my favorite working in the business today for Train Dreams.
See, I wanted to say Train Dreams, but because I know that you really loved that one. I think I would like to. I don't know. It's just like there's so many movies I want to watch. There's over 1,000 movies on my watch list on Letterboxd. Like it's just so many movies, so little time. And again, just with school, like I was looking at the movies I have to watch like just this week for school, and I was like, gosh, dang it.
So before we get back to supporting actress, my other favorite moment of the night was the short film nominee or award because
Yeah.
what happened there? There was a tie,
Yes.
which apparently has happened 3 times according to the lady who did two people exchanging saliva.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me. I did see today,
Kumail?
yeah. So I saw that he
I
went.
did think his bit was hilarious.
His bit was really funny. I just thought the one he ended on wasn't the best. See,
The one battle?
no, he ended on a Schindler's List one. I can't remember what it was, but it was
Oh, that's right. It was like
Schindler's
Schindler's.
Note, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, not the one to end on.
No, no,
I
no,
did
no.
think his bit was pretty funny, and I thought of you during that. But what he said on a podcast was that they did not give training to presenters on if that were to happen. That he literally opened it up and saw 2 names. And so the way that he handled
You
that
could tell
was
that.
incredible. And he does give off like a frantic, nervous comedic energy is
Oh,
generally
yeah.
how he is. Have you seen, I think it's called The Big Sick?
I haven't. That's another one that like
It's
very
great.
recently I've been like around the time that we did our top 3 rom-coms, that's when I was like, I gotta get to this one,
Yeah,
man.
it's great. But so I mean, great job. I don't know what I would do in that situation, but for him to say the first one, come up, do your stuff, and then the second one, come up and do your stuff, I thought was masterful. Because I think if you'd announced both, it would have been messy and not as well handled. So for him to not have been trained and for
Yeah.
him to on the fly do that was awesome. And so I can't remember if I talked about it, but every category except for, well, sorry, let me rephrase that. Best Picture is ranked choice voting, which means that
Yes.
you have to cross the 50% threshold to win. And each round that you don't hit 50%, they take the last place, redistribute the votes. Every other category,
Right.
ties theoretically could happen. So crazy that it did.
Mhm. Yeah. Really, I agree. I think he handled it really well, especially because he, by saying like, "This is I'm not kidding. Like, this isn't a joke. This is a
Yeah.
tie." The first one is, I was like, okay, yeah, you could tell he did not know what to do, but I think you're right. He handled it. He handled it really, really well. But thoughts on Best Supporting Actress?
Yeah. First of all, I think we all discovered, well, not all, but most of us discovered that Amy Madigan is married to Ed Harris, which is awesome.
I know.
Everyone was like, oh, okay. And apparently for a long
You and I
time, they've
texted each other at the same
immediately.
time, like, oh, I didn't know they were married.
Yeah, but I think that's a really inspiring win. I think that she is a phenomenal played character in Weapons. That I think I've told you this, that I think Weapons was such a fun experience for me. I had a great time. I don't know that I like the
Mm-hmm.
movie after I sit with it longer and longer and longer. But I think
Okay.
that her performance does hold it together. That if you don't have
Mm-hmm.
her in that movie, it doesn't work at all. So I think it's a really, really fun performance, well deserved of an Oscar, and hopefully opens the door for Ray Fiennes to win next year for 28 years later, Bone Temple.
Right. Yeah, I was about to say, like, it was kind of like, speaking of Bridesmaids, like when Melissa McCarthy got the nomination for Bridesmaids, I was like, what? And then
Sure.
like this year, yeah, it was bonkers that she was nominated next, alongside of the likes of Teyana Taylor, Wunmi, I forget her last name from Sinners,
Masaka,
Masako, yeah,
Masaku.
like just, and then to win it, just really, really awesome. Last thing I want to say about Sinners as well, making history, Autumn Durald Arkapo,
Hmm.
first female to ever win Best Cinematography.
Awesome.
I thought that was awesome. I love that she had all the women stand. I love the girl power, just movement behind that. And along with that, loved that Buckley shouted out just how much she loves being a mother.
Yeah, that was
You
awesome.
know, when Michelle Yeoh, when she won a few years back, she kind of did the same thing. She was like, shout out to all the mothers. Dude, that was beautiful to see. Jessie Buckley's speech I thought was lovely, and yeah, it was really, really awesome seeing a woman finally take best cinematography was really for someone like me, you know, who is, you know, someone who works in film and in business and is a woman, it was really, really cool to see.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. And I think in general, there was so much joy to, I'll say, both Sinners and One Battle After Another's wins. Like for Sinners, it was
Yeah,
Ryan Coogler just being the cheerleader for all of his team. And I think it worked out really,
for
really
sure.
well in that it was like every component of the movie was sort of recognized in different ways. Not every single
Mhm.
one, but most of the high level components were hit, and that you could tell that that meant so much and that he could reward that with his team. And then on the One Battle After Another side, Paul Thomas Anderson finally getting over the hump and his casting director
Yeah.
throwing shade at him. She won before him was perfect.
Yes.
But I think I really appreciated Paul Thomas Anderson's speeches as well because I think he was so like he has, I want to say, like high emotional intelligence almost. Like he was really
Yeah.
aware of kind of how things were happening. And so, like, you know, his first win, he was sure to hit kind of what he was trying to say with One Battle After Another, which I thought was beautifully succinct about the failures of, you know, his generation and how, you know,
Right.
made this for his kids and that they're going to figure it out and that they're going to be the
Yeah,
ones that do
yeah.
this. And then for when they eventually won Best Picture, and he evoked, I think it was 1975, and listed five of the all-time classic movies,
Yeah.
basically to say today, One Battle After Another ended up with this Oscar, but years down the road, we're not even going to look at that. We're just going to look at, wow, what a year for movies. We had all of these incredible
Mhm.
movies together,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
how blessed we were at that point in time. So I love the Oscars. I thought it was a really, really great celebration of film.
Yeah. No, I agree. Lots of fun. It was a good time, you know. I'm sure we'll be doing that next year. We'll be in the same boat where we're going to be talking, debating who's going to win, predicting, so on and so forth. But we'll keep it to a shorter episode today because we did just kind of want to recap, just kind of off the cuff, some of our thoughts on the Oscars. But next week we'll be able to recap Project Hail Mary for sure. And
So
Adam,
fun.
what else are we watching?
I can't remember which comes first, but we are finishing Ghibli eventually. Might be next week. We'll see. But we are doing a fun little arts versus charts. I don't know
Yes.
how connected these movies are. I've seen both of them at this point, and I think there's elements we'll be able to talk about that'll be great. But
Hmm.
total plot, not quite aligned, but it's going to be a really fun conversation. Anyways, those movies are Past Lives, which is directed by Celine Song, came out a few years ago, and the
Hmm.
classic Casablanca. So
Casablanca. Yes.
see if you can guess the relationship between those two movies. We'll talk about it and we'll talk about that, but then we'll kind of just talk about the movies in general, probably, because it's only so much we can talk about related, but it'll be
Yeah.
really great. And both are really fantastic movies. So that'll be a fun conversation. So watch
Hmm.
those in the next few weeks and tune into our episode. If you want to support us, leave that 5-star review, share it with a family member or a friend, engage with us on social media. We are grateful for everyone that listens to us. And until next time.
Catch you later.